Okay, here we are entering into week 7, which means we've officially completed the first half of this competition. So the first 6 weeks are over. There's 6 more weeks to go. And we're going to get a lot done in those 6 weeks. So I do want to just take a moment and let everybody know that time can go by fairly quickly. I feel like we literally just started this contest and we are halfway done. So if you maybe started this contest with big intentions and time has slipped away from you, I just want to let you know that a lot can be done in just 4 weeks. So you've got 6 weeks left, which is more than enough time to get started. If you haven't really gotten your feet off the ground yet, and it's more than enough time to get your first sales popping through. So I just wanted to leave you guys with that because I know how overwhelming it can sometimes feel if you feel like you've fallen behind in some sense. The good news about this company and this opportunity and even this contest is, there is no such thing as falling behind because this is all under your terms. So JR actually shared a really great article and treat every day like your first day in business and with experience and as with the same level of enthusiasm as your first day, and that's when big things happen. And so I know I'm going to take that advice. I've actually sold more websites personally on this contest than I have in the recent ones. But I've also realized that the majority of those sales have come through because of referrals and a little bit of seeds that I've been planting and referral work that I've been doing. So, but I'm not going to talk a lot about that tonight because we've got a special guest on the line tonight. It's Ray Yedman. He's one of the team leaders, also a certified Web Center trainer, and also a Web Center trainer of the year, former Web Center trainer of the year. So, there really couldn't be a better person to discuss this. He's the master at networking. And when you get really good at networking, you also get really good at working referrals. So what he's going to walk you through tonight are a couple of things. Firstly, he's going to help you to identify where referral opportunities exist. And there's really two kinds, right? There's a warm network type of referral opportunity, people that you just happen to know that might be able to connect you with great people. And then there's a more professional network of folks that are well connected that could lead you to referrals, or give you referrals. So he's going to help you first identify where those opportunities exist in the first place. And then from there, he's going to talk to you about how to effectively give and get referrals. And then once you get those referrals, how do you handle them? How do you contact those referrals in the most successful way? So he's going to walk you through all of that. And then once he's done with that, I'm going to talk to you about what you're going to focus on this week based on whether you are just getting started with web centers or you're minoring in web centers. If you're majoring or more experienced, I'll give you a different set of actions. And then, of course, if you're an industry professionals, then there will be a separate set of action for you. But the good part about this is that Ray's going to talk you through the fundamentals of all this and also share some examples. And then we'll give you action items that make sense for where you are in your process, because to get to where Ray is with building his business with referrals, or to get to where some of our other top sellers are, they all started with getting that first one. And so we're going to help you focus on that or help you focus on refining that skill. So I'm going ahead and let's see. I'm going to go ahead and switch this over to Ray. Okay, Ray, make you the presenter.
Okay.
And I'm going to mute myself, Ray. As soon as I can see your screen, I'll let you know.
Okay. All right. Can everybody hear me okay, or can you hear me okay?
Yep. Sounds good.
Awesome. And can you see the screen?
Sure can. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself and let you drive the car.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Rose, for having me. It is absolutely an honor and a privilege anytime somebody like me gets a chance to have some fun, because that's what this business is all about, is having fun and kind of spreading and preaching the good word of MA Web Centers and all the good things that it has certainly bestowed upon me. And as Sarah said, a number of other, not just website owners throughout Market America and shop.com. And and this is no exception. So let's just dive right in, guys, because this, as Sarah said, this is absolutely one of my favorite things to not only teach. The reason why is because this is my everyday life in business. I say I'm a full-time, Market America business owner and shop.com. And it is absolutely because of what MA Web Centers has done for me. But I didn't get there unless I was doing what we're talking about tonight. And that is, just like any business owner, small business, medium-sized business, any business owner, every business owner, starts with that word of mouth advertising, spreading the word, creating the buzz, the sizzle, working within your centers and spheres of influence. And that's exactly what I did. But even if you're taking this as this, the simple sales approach, if you're not majoring in MA Web Centers, it's perfectly fine. Everything we're going to talk about still applies to you. It's just, putting maybe just a little bit more effort and time into it to act many more referrals. And as we know, more referrals means more retail profit, means more volume, and potentially means more business partners. So you really got to look at your sources. And, this might seem, elementary to maybe some people with certain backgrounds. It did to me in the beginning. I have a corporate sales background. So when you look at your circle of influence, your friends, your families, colleagues, so forth and so on, everybody goes out to eat, even if it's at least one time per year, right? People are getting haircuts, people are getting their nails done. People are going to the doctor. They have a dentist, lawyer, et cetera, et cetera. I don't have to read them all. You guys can go on and read them. Because they're doing this, if you are in the trenches and kind of educating your sphere to just kind of have you on the brain, and I'm going to give you some examples of what just transpired just in the last couple of weeks, where a couple of sites have come to fruition, which were monsters, which were awesome, just because people had mentioned my name and give me the referral, whether somebody called me or I was able to call them. But all of these situations and scenarios are possibilities. They're all possibilities, just like we work the business, right? You have to look at every potential scenario individual as a possibility. Not that they would necessarily come on board as a business partner, but they might be able to refer you the right person. Same exact thing here with MA Web Centers. You don't look at maybe that particular person as, hey, how quickly can I sell them a website? It's how quickly can I build a good, strong relationship with them? Okay. So when you look at, especially somebody like me that is, as I said, in the trenches, I do this full time. As Sarah said, I mean, I'm a big networker. I'm heavily involved in networking groups. I attend networking events, business card exchanges, and anybody can do this, guys, because a lot of these are off peak where you can go after work and just go, connect with a couple of people. But when you think about who the well-connected people are, I can honestly and wholeheartedly agree right out of the chute, real estate agents. And if there's any realtors on here, obviously they know who I'm talking about. They are some of the most well-connected people anywhere, especially if they're a good real estate agent, not only because of the success that they have in selling homes, but they have to deal with so many different people in different industries when it comes to selling a home, whether it's referring the right contractor, referring a mortgage company, referring a title agent. I mean, there's so many different things and so many different areas that a realtor has to have, good connections, good contacts, because they want to serve their clients, whether it's the home buyer or the home seller. They want to serve them best. So realtors, absolutely huge people you should be networking with. Insurance agents, same exact thing, right? Everybody that either owns a business or has a job, I mean, they're driving a car, right? Most people are. So, or there's homeowners insurance, there's renters insurance, whatever it is. These people had databases full of people that, again, are business owners that are looking for the right service providers, waitresses, bartenders, some of the most connected people anywhere, right? Because everybody comes in, they talk to them, and they're putting a lot of referrals out there. Then you could get into some of your, a little bit more industry. These people are in every day. There's no set specific industry that these people are dealing with their clients or customers. It's very diverse. So the hairstylist, might have, whether it's male or female, trainer, somebody could be a makeup artist, somebody could be an insurance agent. Again, very, very diverse circle of people that are, within the salon, or again, buying homes or getting insurance. Church leaders, organizational leaders. Do yourself a favor. One of the best things I ever did is I started getting involved with my kids' sports. I started coaching. Next thing you know, I'm on the board with the football organization and was in a position to at least have the opportunity to quote them for a new website. And again, not only because I was on the board, but that's what, they knew that I did. They weren't going to go anywhere else. So, and then last, but certainly not least, is unfranchised owners that specialize in other areas. So when you have somebody that's a personal trainer, maybe as a business partner of yours, right? He's dealing with possible gym owners, other health and fitness individuals that might want to brand themselves. So all these people need the right online presence. Okay. So I hope that this is making sense, but all of these connected individuals are absolutely a huge referral source. All right. And I know we overuse this word, but it's for a reason. And that word is relationships. Okay. It is about relationship networking, and you have to give before you get. You have to have that mentality. If you don't have a give first, maybe you'll get second, third, fourth, or fifth. I mean, you've got to have a give first mentality and attitude. And the same thing, of course, goes for this business. If you don't, it's going to be harder, because then they're going to know that you're subscribing to the What's in It for Me network, right? And we don't want to do that. But when you get to know somebody for the first time, sit down, take the time to go grab coffee. Again, I understand some people, it's hard for them during the day. You're working a job. Starbucks and Panera Breads and coffee shops are still open at nighttime, guys. There's still diners that are open. So believe me, there's no excuses. You can still go meet somebody for a late night coffee and just sit down and just get to know them. Okay. So after you get to know them, and there's some verbiage here that you can use, but you want to identify the synergies. See, what I do as a networker, when I feel really good about this relationship, I'm looking for that power partner. What I mean by that is somebody that's working in the industry in B2B sales, possibly because they're selling either a product or a service to a business. Now that's a strong referral source for me, because I'm selling to businesses. I can refer them and they can refer me. I'll give you an example in a minute. But when you sit down with these people and you get to know them, and, again, you don't got to be weird. Just be yourself. You're looking to expand business. Hey, you know what, Frank? I know you know a lot of people. You're well connected in the community. I have a influence as well, and I'd love to see how we could help each other out. Would you be interested in seeing where the synergies lie? So, we might be able to form a referral relationship. However you want to word it, guys. I mean, you could take it right out of the context right there, I should say. But if you're just your normal self, you are sincere and you're genuine, and you absolutely make a conscious effort to refer them business, you're going to be fine. Okay, because it has to be a two-way street, and you could do this over the phone. But as Sarah has said before, somebody even mentioned it last week, but in person's always going to be better, because body language always tells the story. When you're looking somebody in the eye, you're shaking their hand, tell that you're attentively listening to them, that you are generally interested, right, in listening. We talk about that in our trainings. Are you trying to be interesting, right? You want to be interested in what they're saying and learning about them. And you don't want to come off techie. Trust me, gang, I am not a techie person. Russell Pohl and I have this conversation all the time. All I did was just utilize my relationship skills, plugged into the best system in the world that I believe we have, and just built good relationships. Okay. So you don't want, even if you come from that world, if there's any designers or developers on the call tonight, you don't have to answer every question. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room. Okay. Just say, hey, look, let's identify a situation where we could refer. And then you want to talk a little bit about, your sweet spot, as I like to call it. Ask them first, hey, Sarah, tell me where your sweet spot is. What is the ideal client for you? So maybe Sarah, owns a salon, right? And she says, hey, you know what? Well, we're heavily female based, but we'd love to get some more male clients in. We're really reasonably priced, and that's something we want to focus on. Okay. So, I mean, now I'm asking her more about her business, what she's trying to focus on. Sooner or later, she's going to ask the same thing of me. Okay, Ray, well, where's your sweet spot? Or, what's your ideal client? And I'm going to say the same thing to her. We work with all kinds of businesses, small, medium-sized businesses. Right now, because we're already into spring and heading into summer, I'm looking for potential clients that are contractors, whether it be roofers, landscapers. These are seasonal businesses. So these are guys that really need the proper online presence, leverage their time, that they can use it as a tool. And then when the slow time comes, now it's already in place, and they can market their business and build momentum as they head into the next busy season. Again, guys, I know that this might sound easy because, like, just rolling off my tongue here, but I do this all the time. So yeah, it might be a little bit easier for me because I'm in it to win it, and I'm truly trying to help as many people as I can when it comes to a referral relationship. Okay, but you want to learn about that person as much as you possibly can. All right, so when you are getting referred to the person, or when somebody finally makes that referral to a potential client, okay, again, it is all about the introduction right out of the chute. When you get on the phone with them, you want to introduce yourself, you want to tell them why you're calling and who referred you. So if I get on the phone, I'm calling Lisa. Hi Lisa, my name is Ray Yedman. I'm not sure if you had a chance to catch up with Frank, but he hopefully mentioned to you that I'd be giving you a call. He thought it would be a good idea if you and I had a conversation. I hope you all should write that down. He thought, or she thought, it would be a good idea if you and I had a conversation, because they probably know ahead of time, if Frank has said something to Lisa, that I was going to be calling them to talk about their website or just something online related. That's powerful, guys. Now, even if Frank didn't have a chance to talk to Lisa, it's okay, because the walls will come down because you're mentioning Frank's name. That is a mutual acquaintance, or at least a mutual connection. All right. So Lisa's going to bring the guard down and say, oh yeah, Frank's a great guy. We always refer business to each other, love Frank, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. And then now she may ask you, okay, tell me more about what you do. Or yeah, they might ask you, well, how can you help me? They might start spilling the beans right out of the chute, gang. I mean, trust me, it's happened to me. I've had people tell me right out of the chute, I hate my website. It's not working. It's old. It's dated, whatever. And you got to be ready for that. And you can't, of course, pounce on them. You just got to, take it slow, let them talk, let them get it out. And then you'll be able to paraphrase back to them and hit on some of those finer points. Okay. And you can hit those points. And when you're talking about what it is that you do. Now, here's just a few examples. I tend to say the same thing depending upon who I'm talking to. I like to tailor my response, maybe sometimes a little specific to the industry. But I would basically say, look, I help companies increase revenue and decrease overhead utilizing, the right online presence. My firm works with businesses to market themselves effectively through the internet. I help businesses cut their advertising costs and save money by effectively leveraging the internet. So again, the answers can be endless, but keep it short, sweet, and concise. I say I own an internet marketing and consulting company, and one of the things that we do, Lisa, is help companies just like yours establish the proper online presence. And then, before we get into some specifics and so forth. But guys, you got to be ready for that. You have to be ready for with your what is it, right? Or what do you do? Just like if you find yourself in that conversation about shop.com, right? It's the same thing. When somebody says, what do you get that response, and it has to roll off again your tongue, like if you were telling them what you did for a living. I'm an accountant, I'm a lawyer, I'm a nurse, et cetera, et cetera. So you always want to end, and it says it right here, the key is to end with that open-ended question. Okay, so Lisa, what my company does is help businesses effectively leverage the internet to increase revenues. Frank mentioned that you might be looking to accomplish something along those lines. What are some of the specific ideas you have in mind? Or what are some of the specifics you've been thinking about? Okay, or what are some of the specifics you've been looking into? Keep them talking. The longer they talk to you, the more information they're going to give you. And this is ammunition for you guys. Okay, again, we're not pouncing, but we're just stockpiling the ammo until it's right to start, regurgitating back to them how we can help them. All right. If you need to use the 15-minute consultation, do that. I highly, highly, highly recommend that, gang. I mean, me, Sarah, Russell, as website owners, we've been doing this so long. I mean, that consultation sheet, those questions are branded into my brain, and I ask the same questions almost every single time. Okay, but then once it's going to get to a point, let me back up a second here. It's going to get to a point where you feel comfortable enough to say, hey, Lisa, you know what? After speaking to you, let me see if I got this right. So right now, your website's currently not doing. You wish you could do this. But you hit a couple of bullet points, and then you go in for the appointment. Because at the end of the day, guys, that's what we're selling, right? We're selling appointments. We're not selling websites. All right. And you know that you have a qualified appointment. Number one, because it's a referral, right? Especially from Frank, who you both know. And number two, Lisa just got done kind of spilling the beans to you. So chances are she's ready. All right. Another thing that you can do is give your sphere, your circle, incentives. Okay. And you can run referral campaigns. One of the things, guys, that allows me to get a lot of referrals is I practice what I'm preaching in terms of the tools that we have. So when I sit down, and whether it's during the demo or after the demo or prior to the demo, I talk about if we get into some of the tools, I'm talking about maybe email marketing. Well, we have the same capabilities with the email marketing system as our clients do. So I will run campaigns where I will do an email blast to my existing client list. I'll create one from scratch. And I'll sometimes I run a cash referral where I'm paying money for, that. I may do something where I'm giving away, a gift card, a shop.com gift card. There's all different types of things you can do. But remember, the key thing is, as it states right here, it's got to end in a sale. Okay. So at the end of the day, that person gives you a name and number. Obviously, the incentives will come once a deal has closed. Okay. And here's just, again, a couple of examples. Shop.com gift card, cash, whatever it may be. A gift card to their favorite store. That's another way to open up the shop.com conversation, register them as a customer. You can choose your own referral program. If you have something better, God bless you. It's okay. But it's always nice to have some incentive. So, so they want to really help you. All right. But building good relationships with people in person makes it all the more better. Okay. And because as well as I do, we can't build our Market America and Shop.com business unless we're in front of people, right? Hard to do it from behind the computer. Okay. Next to impossible. We got to have, it's all about the one-to-one, right? So talk with people, build a relationship, treat every challenge as a learning experience. I said it before, be normal. Don't be weird. Just be a normal business person. What does that mean? Listen, learn, ask questions, okay? And then when it feels good, do it. When it feels good, set that appointment. You have to care about your prospects. Just a few quick examples, and I'm going to turn it back over to Sarah here. So I have been doing business for a number of years with an independent bank. It's not one of these, it's not a Wells Fargo or a TD or one of these monsters out there. Independent bank. I met this woman because of our networking group. I really, really promote the bank because I believe in the bank. They do a tremendous job. They do a lot of great things, no fees. I mean, their customer service is on another level. Phenomenal bank. So my name has been thrown around by this vice president of relationship marketing for over 2.5 years. Now, at the time, I'm thinking, wow, this could be a monster project, and maybe I'm a little out of my league here, et cetera, et cetera. Well, no, what happened was I ended up getting a call because the vice president of marketing and HR walked into this woman who I network's office and said, we're really having a hard time, buddy. We really would like to work with somebody that has a relationship with the bank. And once again, she said, why aren't you guys talking to Ray Yedman? Next thing you know, I have a meeting. I had the consultation. I scheduled the demo. We closed business a couple of days later. And it was awesome. So we're in the process now of building that. Okay. So But you're talking about my name being thrown around for 2 years. Okay. There was another situation just recently where somebody through networking was where he owned a company, he sold the company, he went to go work for another company as a consultant, and this guy said, we really need to do something online. He said, I got the guy. Let's sit down. Let's meet him. So because this guy had already had about a 3-year relationship with me, I served on the board with him on one of the networking groups, sat down, this guy on this gentleman's word of what he spoke about me, we actually closed the business and there wasn't even a demonstration done because the trust was already there. Guys, this isn't going to happen. I mean, that's one out of a God knows how many situations, but I'm just trying to let you know that whether you do this, even not as a major, it's okay. But if you want to build the referrals, you have to put more time into the relationship because if you're not meeting people, grabbing coffee, they're getting to know you and know that you're just more than just somebody that has a phenomenal, partner with a great company that can help businesses just like yours. If you don't build a reputation, at least in your local area, the referrals are not going to be plentiful. You might get one a year. I mean, if you're lucky, or two a year, whatever it is. But you want to make money, make BV, and really make a go at this, you've got to put the time in. And the same thing is said about marketamericanshop.com and building the business, right? It's no different here. You have to put that time in so they can get to know you. So when they're that comfortable, people are going to say, you need to call Russell Polo. You need to call Sarah Rose. I have a gentleman that I do business with who is probably my biggest cheerleader. He's a contractor. And when people talk about business or online or anything like that, this guy will stop them in their tracks and say, please don't look any further. I got the guy. And this guy gives me a ton of business. And at the end of every year, I mean, I send this guy different gifts at Christmas and all this jazz and, gift cards. I mean, I reward him, heavily. And I'm very, very grateful and very thankful because, I mean, this guy just believes in our system so much because I took the time to build that relationship. And this is going on almost 4 years now with him and experiences leading up to it. So that's probably the last piece I'll give you, and then I'll turn it over to Sarah is, there's so many companies out there that, that have done this 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 times, maybe 4 times in the last 5 or 6 years. They know they need it, guys. Good, strong, smart business owners are not going to throw in the towel and say, I'm not, we haven't found the right person. I'm done. We're not going to do this. They will keep looking because they know they need it until they find the right person. Well, the buck's got to stop with you, and you got to be that final person. And that's what this guy says to me all the time. First guy, no luck. Second guy, no luck. I hit a home run with Ray Yedman. Could you be paid a better compliment? So get out there, build the relationships, have coffee talk, okay? Learn about those individuals. Look for and identify a power partner. Oh, quick example, payroll company. Network with payroll companies. What do? They're selling to businesses all day, every day. That's a beautiful, beautiful referral source. So there's my nugget as far as that's it for me. Sarah, I'll turn it back over to you, and I hope that helped.
Thank you so much, Ray. That was really powerful. And completely, I'd say like, oh, that's amazing. We didn't expect that, but I would have expected nothing less. So let me just make sure I'm sharing screen here. Perfect. I am, it looks like. Cool. Just give me 1 second, you guys. Want to make sure I can scroll down to the appropriate slide. So before we talk about our exercises, I just want to thank Ray because honestly, you guys, he shared a ton of really great nuggets. And honestly, like he said, he's out there doing this every day. So there's these little things that like we were talking about it today. We talked on the phone for a little bit earlier today and we were laughing because there's just little things that come up in real life practice that we wanted to make sure were shared with you guys. And that's why he's telling you, like, all the little things. And like, he's talked to every well-connected person you could probably think of and, is throwing out there that payroll people are great. For me, one of the things I found to be really helpful in terms of well-connected people are organizations. So, we sold a website to a church, which turned into like 10 church websites and then turned into a ton of other websites to members within the congregation. Like, organizations tend to be very well connected, and there's an established rapport, which, by the way, is the foundation for why this works. Half of what we do when we meet website prospects that we have a lesser strong connection with. Think about people like, you're a customer of theirs. You're talking to the owner of the restaurant that you eat at a lot, but maybe you don't know the restaurant owner that well. There's a little bit of trust and rapport that you have to work on and build upon, um, to get that relationship established before they're really ready to hear anything from you or listen to advice from you. So the beautiful thing about referrals is that you're building on someone else's really strong relationship. Because when somebody turns around and says, I recommend Ray Yedman, or I recommend Sarah Rose Stack, now when I step into that conversation, there's a foundation there that I don't have to build. I just have to build upon it. And it's already laid for me to just step onto and, like Ray said, continue to build the relationship from there. So yes, building your business through referrals is sort of like a two-step process, because you have to take the time to meet with people that can be a good source of referrals for you. But it does, in my opinion, drastically reduce the amount of time that you spend trying to build rapport with people. So it's a process, and it's absolutely worth our time. So in your 12-week action plan, the charts that you have in there are twofold. You've got one, which just gives you some spaces for what is it, like 7, 2, 4, 6, 8 different people that could be good sources of referrals. So it's your non-business owner network, people that are employed at small businesses, any existing clients that you have, any potential clients that did not end in the sale, but that would be willing to give you a referral. And then also that last column is other university majors. So within your own franchise organization, sitting down with somebody and teaching them about what Web Centers is all about, and that how they can refer you in for a potential website sale or appointment, and vice versa. So very simply put, our best motives gal owns a salon. And it's great because we just sponsored a new salon in our town, and I've known the salon owner forever, right? So I was talking with her about a website, and she was telling me about how she like absolutely hates the makeup line that they've been buying from for years, and she was looking to switch it out. Well, I use Motives Cosmetics, and honestly, I know a lot about it because I use so much of it. But you can't be the jack of all trades, master of none. So rather than trying to come out, my new business partner as the expert in everything, I referred her to somebody else in my group that does major in motives, and she was the one to walk her through all the products and the opportunity and the motives UBP and all of that good stuff. And I was there right alongside with her, but I let Holly drive the car because honestly, even though I know a lot about motives, I don't know as much as Holly does. And more importantly than that, she's majoring in motives. And so I know that if I connect her with someone that's majoring in it, that they're going to take extra good care of that customer. And Holly does the same thing for us. If she's got website people coming in, and she talks to a lot of business owners, like Ray said earlier, hairdressers tend to know a lot of those people. She sends them over to us. And it's cooperative. We share 100% volume. There's no reason to be in competition with each other. We should definitely be leveraging each other's talents and leveraging each other's knowledge so that we can give and get, referrals within your organization. So one thing I will say is when you do that, you always want to place sales in a place in your organization where the person that referred it to you, if they are a business partner, will benefit from it. So that's always the right thing to do in that scenario. The second thing is a simple little chart to help you map out a referral campaign. We recommend that you give the campaign a name, you give it a start and end date. Even if you run it multiple times, by giving it an end date, you create a little bit of urgency so that people just want to decide sooner. What is your reward going to be? And again, Ray gave you some great ideas, and you can get as creative as you want, do whatever you want to do, and any other notes. So with that being said, we talked you through the process from a 10-foot view, from a 10-foot view. And you have to realize that you want to work up to being able to do some of those things. If you're just getting started with Web Centers, sitting down with your accountant might not be the best idea this week, because your accountant is going to have lots of questions for you, and they're going to want, as a professional, they're going to want to know more before they send off your referrals. And so what you're seeing on the screen now is that progression, so that you can have some success. And once you have some success, you can build on that and take it to the next level, and then take it from the next to the next level from there. So if you want to get to the point where you're basically building your business through referrals, which is honestly the most effective and efficient way to do it, you have to start somewhere. And that somewhere means start with your employees list. Okay. So everybody that's in your non-business owner network this week, just want you to reach out to them, let them know what you're up to, and share a couple of testimonials or pictures from social media so that they could see the quality of work that the design center is doing. And by doing that, you're going to establish a little bit of rapport and put them in a position where they're going to want to actually send you referrals. Okay. The second part that you could do this week is, if you know of other people in your team that are majoring in something else, go ahead and schedule your coffee date with someone like that. First of all, they're going to be more excited to learn about how to recommend web centers leads to people, because a lot of people have them and they just don't know what to do with them because they're not web center owners themselves. And second of all, you'll be able to learn about how you can you'll be able to refer your people out to them, which again, it's 100% shared volume. So you want to learn how to do that. And third of all, when you have that conversation with another person in your group that's majoring in something else, it's excellent practice for when you do that with other people that are outside of the Market America network, right? That are going to expect a simple a little bit more information. It's great practice. So that's if you're minoring. But mostly, number one, make sure you're working that non-business owner network. If you're majoring in web centers, you should do all of those things. Plus, you should create and promote a referral campaign. So like Ray said, we have access to the same marketing materials and tools and technologies that our clients have. So go ahead and create the campaign and then push it out over social media, or send an email campaign, or take a grassroots effort and make a phone call, email, or text. And then finally, if you're an industry professional, you're going to want to do all the things that the major is doing, but you're also going to want to consider adding a lead capture to your website for people to submit referrals to you. So keep in mind, when you're a Web Center Pro, you get a fully customizable website with that account, and it's preloaded with content, but you can add pages. So we recommend that you add a lead capture for your clients and your friends and your colleagues, and anybody in your network that wants to send you any referrals can do so. All right, guys, thank you so much. We will be announcing the most completed appointments for last week, sometime this week. Brett is getting ready for Asia, so we missed a little bit. And we missed that spreadsheet, but he's on a flight, so I'm guessing I'll see that sometime tomorrow. As soon as I get that, I'll share it with you guys. And as always, make it a great week.